Let's look at how to connect to the Qpath server. We'll walk through the website and take a look at the features and see how to use it. This is where you view your images and where you can fill out a worksheet if you didn't do it on the ultrasound machine. To begin, open an internet browser window. Then connect to the IUVPN. After the VPN connects, go to the Qpath website. I have it bookmarked, but it can be linked from the IUEM ultrasound site on OnCourse or from the IUEM homepage. When the login dialog box comes up, enter your username and password. Your username is your IU username, and the default password is Qpath123. I'm logging in with the username we used in the previous examples so we can see the exams we performed in the study that we did. You can change your password by clicking on the box with your name in it in the upper right, and when the menu pulls down, select the option to change your password. Now we are in Qpath. The primary area of interest for you will be the Exams tab along the top. This is where you view your images and can complete worksheets. The default menu item under the Exams tab is List, and the default date is Today. If you click on the word Today under the Exam Date column, it pulls down and you can select whatever date range you want. Often this week is a good choice, but you can select all if you need to. In this example, the exams that we are interested in were performed a few days ago, so we will select last week to get a manageable selection. We can see 6 exams. As we discussed earlier, we performed 3 different exams in one study on one patient. These are those 3 exams. Qpath has separated them into the individual studies because we selected 3 different exam types. This is a nice feature because Qpath assigns a different worksheet to each individual study, so you can fill out the appropriate worksheet for the exam you selected. You just have to remember to change the exam type on the ultrasound machine so that the machine knows to load the appropriate worksheet. Below these 3 exams, we see 3 exams labeled Test Cardiac. You notice that my name is in the attending column. When you put the IU faculty username in the referring physician field, it codes to the faculty name in the attending field. Before we look at the individual exams, let's look at some features of this view. Qpath is basically a database. Qpath maps the information you entered when you create an exam to fields in its database. Moving left to right along the top row of columns, patient MRN maps to the patient ID column. Patient last name maps to the patient name column. The entry under the exam type comes from your selection of exam type on the ultrasound machine. Exam type is assigned based on the exam type you select while you're scanning. Operator is mapped to your name from your IU username entered in the new patient field. If you don't use your IU username, Qpath assigns NA to this field, so it's really important to get this entered correctly. Just to the right of Operator, you see the column labeled Attending. As we just discussed, this is mapped from the IU username of the faculty that you entered in the referring physician field on the demographics page. We'll have laminated cards available with the faculty IU usernames available for your reference. If you remember in our example, we started a study, performed a cardiac, a fast, and an aorta exam, then closed the study. To view the first exam, click on the date under the exam date column. This opens the exam. Along the top of the window, you see the red highlight moved from List to Images and Worksheets. This gives you a window to look at the images with thumbnails below and a slider to the right to let you view additional thumbnails. You can resize the windows by grabbing the edge of the window and sliding left or right. To the right of the image window, you see the worksheet for the exam. In this case, it's a cardiac exam. On the top menu, you can also select images instead of images and worksheets. When you do this, you get a larger preview window with the worksheet hidden and thumbnails along the right, and again a slider to view all your thumbnails. Let's go back to the Images and Worksheets view. We'll note that the first two images are screenshots of the patient entry field. To select the third image, just click on it. It's a cardiac still in parasternal long orientation. If we click on the fourth, it's a video clip, and you can tell this because it has a progress bar or timeline indicator along the bottom. When you click on it, the video plays and continues to play continuously. Now let's take a look at the worksheet for the aorta exam. We'll go back to the list by clicking on List in the menu across the top and then selecting the aorta exam. So we click List, come down to the third exam here, which is the aorta exam. Click here and it opens the aorta exam. There are basic sections to each worksheet that you will recognize: exam information, indication, views, findings, interpretation, and confirmatory study. You can move through the worksheet areas by using the scroll bar on the right. Let's resize this window so we can see more of the worksheet. And go back up to the top. There are radio buttons and checkboxes that can be filled out for many of the sections. Some sections have an additional free text area where you can keyboard in additional findings, modifiers, or other information that the reviewers or your faculty need to know. At the end of every worksheet, there's a question that asks you how confident you are that your images are adequate for interpretation. That's this last question right here. This is included to prompt you to think critically about your images. It's not designed to deny credit for credentialing if you don't have perfect images. Because emergency ultrasound involves immediate interpretation at the point of care, it is key that you are aware of how much information you have acquired and ask yourself how much you can base your management on the images you have obtained. Just pick a rating based on the 1 to 5 scale that corresponds to your confidence in your images for decision making. After you have completed filling out the worksheet, submit the exam for QA by clicking on the Submit for QA box in the middle part of the top menu bar. I hope this brief tutorial has helped you understand how to use the Qpath website to review your images and to fill out worksheets. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to contact me or any of the ultrasound faculty. We'll be happy to help you.